So this is day 51, I think, or 52. 52 probably. And today I want to talk about one of the biggest aspects of self-improvement, which is reading. But first of all, as you may know, today I think it's the 20th November. It's very, very cold. 0 to 2 degrees Celsius, I think. So that's why I'm with this. I can put this on, but not needed right now. So the thing with reading is, most people, they tell you to start reading self-help books or to start somewhere just, but obviously there are books that are more beginner friendly. Wait a minute. There are books that are more beginner friendly, while others are not that beginner friendly, which may help you guide or which may confuse you when choosing a book. Obviously, when you're reading a book outside of school for the first time, you shouldn't go with a book that is this thick and this big, for example. Yeah, I don't have a second hand, but you get what I mean. Because then you'll just get burnt out and you won't read anymore. So I'm at the same time reading books for school and reading books for self-improvement. But how do I manage it? Obviously, you need to start with an easy book. Because like I told you, you don't want to get burnt out with reading books. I personally started with Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was this thick, but it wasn't very, very big, and it had a lot of spaces in between and a lot of images, so it was pretty easy to read, pretty beginner friendly, I'd say. But looking back now, I don't remember anything from that book. But if you ask me if I would read it again, I would say no, because I don't think that book had a very big effect on me. But the next book had a big effect on me. But the problem is I forgot to do the most important part when taking notes. What? From where did that come? When reading books. The second book was How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that book, the last time I remember reading it, it had tips or laws for every day. No, not for every day. A lot of laws. Like, it has 2 pages dedicated to one rule or one trick or one tip, one topic that may help you. And 2 pages. It had around 120 tips, I think. I don't really remember because it's one of the books that I've read at the very beginning of my journey. And I read 2 pages, so 1 tip every morning. And when I went home, I read another tip or 2. So I finished that pretty fast. If you ask me if I would read that book again, I'd say probably yes. Because it's a book that can give you a lot of positive points. But you can't forget the most important part from reading, and that is to take notes. Because for the first 4 or 5 books that I've read, I didn't take notes, and that caused me to fly by books very, very quickly. And it's good that I finished the books early, because it didn't very much burn me out. But obviously, if I want to read that knowledge again, I would need to read in the book again. So in the future, I need to reread those same books that I've already read, and that may cause me to stutter. So just a tip when reading: choose a beginner-friendly book. Choose a book that is interesting for you. Obviously, if you're not interested in finances, you shouldn't read a self-improvement book all about finances. And take notes, because you don't want to start all over again with doing that. that is one of the reasons that I will need to start reading the books that I've read at the beginning first. And oh boy, some of them were took long even without taking notes. But yeah, that's something that's gotta happen. Right now I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. That's the title, if I don't. Yeah, I think that's the title. And it's pretty good. But the thing with that book is it has a lot of things that I can take notes of. So half of the time I'm reading, half of the time I'm taking notes. 10 pages, instead of 10 pages taking me 20 minutes, it's taking me like 35 minutes, which is pretty annoying. But since I've reached the end of the book, I'm taking less and less notes now. I don't know why, but nowadays I'm just reading 10 pages in that book every night before sleep, taking a bit of notes. I still have 50 pages left or something, so it will probably be done by next week. But there's also a big thing that you need to know about books. Obviously, most people, they tell you to read books, like I said at the beginning, but they forget to tell you one thing. Oh, what is this, man? There's something big here. Okay, they forget to tell you one thing, and that is to not base your life completely on books, because obviously books they have a lot of knowledge, but if you want to achieve great things in life, you need to know things about life itself as well. You need to know life in practical form, not only in theoretical form. You can think of books as a theoretical part of the exam and life itself as a practical part. Without the theoretical part, the practical part will be difficult. But if you don't do the practical part, the theoretical part will just go in vain. So read books, take notes, read beginner-friendly books. Don't read books that don't interest you, but also don't trust the books to guide you fully through life, because that's probably not gonna happen. And with that, I'll just say to you, Khan always delivers.